Okay, so my dear student, we discussed the process of organizing. So if we follow the process of the organizing, then what we get as an outcome? So the outcome of the organizing process is organization structure. And if you have a very effective organization structure, definitely the profitability of the organization will increase. And one more thing, whenever any organization is supposed to grow in size, or you can say in complexity, then the need for an educate organization structure is more. Now, if any organization is not growing properly, then only it is possible that you need not to focus on the organizational structure. Otherwise, you have to work on your organizational structure. And this also you should remember, if any organization who is not focused on the organizational structure, or they are in situation of the, they are not dynamic, they are not growing, they become stagnant, then only it is possible that you may not focus on the organizational structure. Otherwise, you have to keep on changing. Otherwise, the organization may close down, or there is a possibility that the organization will not grow. And as an organization grows, the coordination becomes difficult due to the so many new functions, and then structural hierarchy is increased. So for any good organization, growing organization, to work properly, or to function smoothly, and to face the dynamism of the business, or the changes in the environment, it becomes very necessary to pay attention on the structure. I want to show you here a quotation of the famous management consultant, who was an educator, very great author, who has written lot of books on management and the management practices. He once said, he emphasized on the importance of having an appropriate organizational structure. And he said that organizational structure is an indispensable means. And the wrong structure will seriously impair business performance, and it can even destroy it. So he is highlighting here the importance of the organizational structure. So if you have to define the organizational structure, we will say the organizational structure can be defined as a framework, right? So this is very important word, framework, within which managerial and operating task, these two things are performed. Now you would be in a better position to understand if you see the structure of an organization. So I am going to show you one structure. This is the organizational structure of an industrial enterprise which is manufacturing something, right? So see here, he is the general manager, he is the head of the organization, right? Now he has 3 person under him. One is the production manager, another is the finance manager, and marketing manager. Marketing manager has 2 person to manage, right? So under marketing manager there is one sales officer and one sales promotion officer, right? He must be taking care of the advertisement aspect, how to promote the product. And this salesperson is having 2 supervisor, sales supervisor 1, sales supervisor 2, right? So under the sales supervisor, now there are 6 salespersons, salesmen whom we call. So these people are being managed by sales supervisor. Sales supervisor is both the sales supervisor, like the same way here it is 6 salesmen, sales persons. Here may be 8, here may be 4, here may be 6. So he is also having some salesperson here, which I am not showing here in the diagram, but it's a possibility. Same way there is a possibility of the people who are under the sales promotion officer also. So they may be doing some work. Then same way under the finance manager, there are two officers. One is accounts officer, one is audit officer. So he may be taking care of the auditing part of the organization, and this accounts officer taking care of the account section. So under him there are two people, one is head clerk, another is the chief cashier. Now under this chief cashier there is a possibility that these are the 6 cashiers sitting on different counters to collect the cash, and these are all being managed by this one chief cashier. Like you must have seen in our school also, there are so many counters to collect the fees. Okay, now let us see this production manager. Now production manager is having 3 people to manage. One is plant superintendent, under him, and purchase officer is also under him, the store officers. Now this plant superintendent may be having 2 people to manage, that is, one is foreman 1, foreman 2. Now this foreman also may have some workers. Here I am showing it here for the foreman 1, like it is showing here only 6 workers. Possibilities are there may be more workers, right? So in this way, all these thing, what we call it organizational chart, right? And this organizational chart is actually known as organization structure. So for any good organization, it is very necessary that they must have some structure, and this is called as structure. Now I think you have very clear picture in your mind that what actually organization structure means. Okay, now if you see this definition, the definition become very clear to you, right? Like the organizational structure, it can be defined how as a framework, right? Now you must have understood that what is framework, getting it, and within which we are not only going to talk about the operating task, but we are also discussing here the managerial task also. So all these things, how these would be performed, actually this is all clearly mentioned in the organization chart or organizational structure, right? One more thing which can be said about this organizational structure, that it specifies the relationship between people, work and resource, right? Like in any organization, the people who are working in the organizations, and again I will take the example of the workers, the salesman, all the staff of the organization will be coming under this people. The resources are what? The physical resources, financial resources. And then what is the work which is to be done in that organization, like in that industry, which way organization structure we have seen. So there must be some work which is being done there. So this work, people and resources, all these things are connected together. They have some kind of relationship among them. So this relationship is defined by the organizational structure. Basically, it allows correlation and coordination among human, physical and financial resources. So all the resources, whether it is human, physical or financial resources, all these are correlated to each other. No, so this there must be a very good coordination among these three, and this organizational structure ensures the coordination and correlation between these. So we can say that organizational structure of a firm is shown in an organizational chart. Now one more thing here that is very important to understand, that the span of management to a large extent give shape to the organizational structure. Like how this organizational structure is determined, it is decided by the span of management. Now the question is that what is the span of management? The span of management basically is the number of subordinates that can be effectively managed by a superior, and actually this is going to determine the levels of management in the structure. So now let us understand that what is a span of management with an example, that how it is going to determine the levels of management in the structure. Both these things we will discuss now. As I said that the shape of organizational structure greatly depends upon the span of management, right? Now there is an inverse relationship between the span of management and the levels of management in the structure. As the span of management reduces, consequently, the number of levels in the organizational structure will increase. Now, let us understand this. There is a possibility of two situations. So, this is situation one, where in this sales department of an organization being shown here, where the sales manager has 10 salesmen. Are you seeing this? So, one sales manager, and these are the 10 salesmen who are working directly under him. So it's a wide structure. We will call it the wide span of management. So a wide structure like this is set up on the belief that the sales manager is a very experienced person, and also at the same time the salesmen are well versed with the various aspects of the job. So they do not need too much supervision. They don't require close supervision. So in this situation, one man controlling 10 people. So we will call it wide span of management. Correct? Now let us understand the second aspect, second situation of this. We call it narrow span of management. Right? Why we are saying it narrow? Again, if you see here, there are also 5 salesmen and 5 salesmen. So again in this organization also there are 10 people, but on these 10 people 5 have been grouped in 2 groups, and one sales executive is managing these 5 people, and these 5 salesmen are being managed by this another sales executive. Now let us have the another situation where the salesmen are new, right, and they are not very familiar with the various aspects of the job. So as a result they require closer supervision, they require more guidance, constant guidance from their superior. So in this case the organization may follow a narrow span of management. This is not good to follow the wide span of management in this situation. So what will happen, this would enable the new salesman to work in say close coordination with the sales executive. So as you are seeing here in the diagram, here also in this sales department one sales manager is there, like the situation 1, but under this sales manager there are 2 sales executive also. So sales executive 1, sales executive 2. Now under this sales executive we have 5 different salesmen, and under this sales executive we have 5 another different people, another different salesmen to be working under the sales executive 2. Getting it? So earlier what was being done in the sales this situation, one sales manager managing all 10 people together, right? Now if you see here, this one person is managing 12 people. These 12 people are under him, but he has to look after these 2 persons only. So now these 2 persons are responsible to see another 5 people, and this sales executive will see these 5 people. So here it is a narrow span of management, and this is called as the wider span of management. So this is the difference of wider and narrow, and this is called as span of management, right? So what I said, span of management means the number of subordinates that can be effectively managed by a superior, and this will actually determines the level of management in the structure. Now see what is happening here. This is one level, sales manager, and then these people are there in the second level who are working here, right? So if we consider this as the middle level of management, then this is what supervisory level of management, right? So only 2 levels of the management system is there in this situation. Now if you see here, if we consider this as the top level of management, this is at middle level of management. Sales executive 1, sales executive 2 will form the middle level of management, and then these people will come under the supervisory level of management. Getting it? So the levels of management is also determined by the span of management. Hope it is very clear now. So in this way we can say that a proper organizational structure is essential to ensure a smooth flow of communication and better control over the operation of a business organization. Correct? So an organizational structure provides the framework which enables the enterprise to function as an integrated unit by regulating and coordinating the responsibilities of individuals and departments. Right? So with this example we can easily understand it. Like here in this example we can easily understand that the success of this organization, which is an industrial enterprise, will be determined by the coordination between production manager and finance manager, the coordination between this finance manager and marketing manager, right? And then this the relationship between the sales officer and sales supervisor 1, sales supervisor 2. Same way this plant superintendent and foreman 1, foreman 2. So the relationship between these two people, the coordination between these two people, right? And all these things will determine the success of the organization. So what has happened that here the general manager, to get that result, that organization objective, he has divided his work into these three major functions, that production manager, finance manager and marketing manager. Then all such type of activities together have been grouped. So this department has been created. Getting it? So first the identification of work has been done, right? And then departmentalization has been done, right? Now then duties have been assigned. Like this plant superintendent is responsible to take care of the plant. Purchase officer is responsible to take care of the purchase of the in this industry, right? Then store officer, he will take care of the store, that how much raw materials and all those tools, equipments which are required, whether these are there in the stock or not, right? So in this way duties have been assigned. Correct? And then reporting relationship also has been explained here, and this is very clearly mentioned. See, production manager has to report to whom? General manager, right? This head clerk has to take the instruction from whom? Then the accounts officer, right? And whom he has to report? Accounts officer. Like if I ask you that, okay, tell me this salesperson has to report to whom? So easily you can say that this salesperson has to report to the sales supervisor 1. You will not say that the salesperson will report to sales supervisor 2, or they are not supposed to report to this sales promotion officer. No. So it is very clearly established that what is the subordinate, senior subordinate relationship has been established here very clearly. So that is called as working relationship, right? Like this accounts officer will not get the instruction from the production manager. Who told you, or how you are coming to know that this audit officer will not get the instruction from the marketing manager? Because of this organizational chart. This organizational structure is helping you in identifying the work, dividing the work, like this has been done. Then departments have been created, like this is one department, this is another department, right? This is another department. So in this way departmentalization has been done. Duties have been assigned, that he has to do this work, he has to do this work, and then there is a clear cut senior subordinate relationship have been established, that this man will get the instruction from this and this man will get the instruction from this person, right? So in this is the, now I think the organizational structure is very clear in your mind. Correct?